Hello everyone. I wanted to post this video thinking it will be helpful to many of you, as many videos were helpful to me. This is about something that not so many people like to talk about or share with friends or even with family members. Well, I'm 34 years old and I just went through the worst 6 months of my life. And when I say the worst, I mean the worst. Basically, 6 months ago, I started having the sensation of some type of invisible insect crawling under my skin and biting me. And it was worse at night, so I jumped to a conclusion without doing any research or seeking any advice, and I thought I had bed bugs. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with bed bugs, even if you haven't had them. Basically, they are tiny crawling insects that live around your bedding area where you sleep at night. They're nocturnal. They come out at night to bite you, to feed on your blood, and they only live on human blood or your pets. So that's what I thought I had. And so I hired an exterminator, and within 2 days I got my apartment treated. And the crawling and biting sensation did not go away. Instead, it got worse and worse day after day. So it actually started to affect my life on all different levels. I stopped bringing friends home, fearing that they may carry the infestation home with them. I also stopped going to other people's places, including my family and even my girlfriend, fearing that I may carry this infestation with me to their homes. So I called the PPC again, and I got my apartment sprayed once again, and again, no results. So, and people started to notice that something is different about me. Even when I'm out with friends in a bar, and it's like I'm not there with them. Like, they notice something is different, because wherever I go, I'm feeling these things on my skin, crawling and biting me, and I cannot see them. It's like the worst feeling that I've ever had in my life. So it went on for months, and it only got worse. So I went nights without sleep. I would spend the night walking around with a flashlight, hoping that I would catch something crawling on the wall or around my bed area, but there was no results. I couldn't see anything. So I decided to do some serious research on my own. And by the way, there were no signs of rash on my skin whatsoever. So I was able to eliminate the possibility of scabies or body lice. And I started doing research on the internet, and I found few scary things out there. So according to my research, I came to two different hypotheses. Number one is what's called delusory parasitosis. It's basically a psychosis, and from the name delusory, it's a delusion of having something crawling or biting your skin. And because I had no signs of rash on my skin, I thought that's what I was suffering from. But then I decided to consider the second hypothesis, which is, according to my symptoms, was bird mites. Mites, M-I-T-E-S, or also called rodent mites or black pepper mites. Basically, they are microscopic arthropods. They are insects that live near bird nests or rats or the house mouse nests, and they feed on their blood. And again, according to my research, these creatures will invade the human space only if the nest, the bird nest or the mouse nest, has been abandoned by the animal, by the host, or if the animal dies and they cannot feed on their blood anymore, they would start searching for a different host. And that's how they would get inside your house or your apartment to feed on your blood. So I started to focus on this possibility in my research, and quite honestly, I have seen scary, scary things on the internet. And by the way, whatever you do, do not go to birdmites.org. That website is all lies, and people's whatever they're saying, it's all lies, and they scare the shit out of you. Okay, so I started doing this research, and I became convinced that this is what I had in my apartment, bird mites. So I started looking around the house for bird nests, and I found none. I started looking for rat nests or the mice nests, and I found none. So I became skeptical about it. Okay, and I was able to find these tiny black things the size of a black pepper grain or piece of black pepper, barely visible with the naked eye. And I would find them all over my couch, on my clothes, on my socks, and that's how I became convinced that I had bird mite infestation in my home. Although there was no nests, no birds, no mice whatsoever, but there is always a possibility that you could bring these mites home with you from elsewhere, because they can get on your skin and stay on your skin basically the entire day. And when you get home, they crawl off your skin and they go to hide anywhere in your home, and they would come back out at night and start biting you. So again, what I read online was very scary, and basically there are people who are saying that they have dealt with these mice for years and could never get rid of them. And some people even said that they got rid of the furniture, of their appliances, and the mites moved in with them. So I became scared, and I became more depressed, and I even started showing signs of stress. My skin started breaking out. I lost weight. I went from 150 pounds to 115 pounds in 6 months. I started smoking again, and it's changed my life so badly that I I mean, a lot of people thought about committing suicide. I didn't have that thought, but I came to the point where I gave up and decided to live with these things. for as long as it takes. So, but then I, 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 I went back to doing research, and basically what I found is that people are misinformed about these things because basically they're not very known. Like a lot of people have never heard of bird mites. I haven't heard of them until I had them. Even dermatologists uh, can't treat them. They cannot describe anything for them because they do not live under your skin like scabies do or lice. They just get on your skin to feed and move on. And what I learned that they basically cannot survive on human blood. They get on your skin and bite you uh, to feed on you, but they cannot survive. Your human blood, it's not nutrition for them. They evolved to live on birds and mites. That's what their body is programmed to do. So they cannot basically live on a human blood. And this is something that a lot of people on the internet didn't realize. And basically, most of people on the internet who had this kind of infestation, they were able to find the source, whether it's a bird nest or the house mouse or rats. But in my case, I couldn't find any source. So that basically gave me some hope, especially after learning that they cannot survive on human blood. So I started looking for treatments, and I was shocked that there is no insecticides that are in the market for these mites. I tried all kind of insecticides. I sprayed. I tried fogging the apartment. I tried all kind of insecticides, and nothing. They actually become resistant to it every time they're exposed to it. So I started vacuuming my apartment on a daily basis, washing my clothes and my beddings, my sheets. And every time I do that, I notice that the biting and the crawling sensation decreases. But a few hours after that, it comes back to me, and I start feeling it intense biting all over again. And so I wanna go back to a point here that if you having this sensation of crawling or biting on your skin, you might want to consider the possibility of having this kind of infestation, bird mite infestation. So basically, the first thing you want to do, look around your house or your apartment for bird nests or especially abandoned bird nests or rats or mice. So that's a big possibility. And so I sent pictures of these small black pepper sized things to entomology department of a local university in my area, and they got back to me because it was just a picture, and these things are very small. They could not 100%. They could not confirm 100% that this was bird mites, but according to their picture, they look like bird mites. I started doing home treatment by vacuuming, cleaning, and bleaching, and it did not work. It only worked for a couple of hours, and they just keep coming back. By the way, they reproduce at a very, very fast rate. They can basically double their number in just a few hours. So if you have a few mites in your apartment, you can expect to have an infestation within a day or two, and that's it. You have bird mite infestation. So so if you having this problem and you're looking on the internet hearing a lot of scary stuff of people saying you will never get rid of these, you will never be able to eradicate them, that is a lie. Um, I discovered, I did not discover it, I learned about this dust or powder. I'm sure some of you have heard of it, called diatomaceous earth, or also called DE powder. For those of you who are not familiar with diatomaceous earth, basically it's natural rock that consists of fossils, of very very tiny fossils, microscopic fossils of um, shell fish, not shellfish, but of microscopic creatures that live inside a shell. So basically, diatomaceous earth is 100% natural powder. It's not a chemical insecticide, but it can work as a mechanical insecticide. As a matter of fact, people have used it for bed bugs, for fleas, for ticks, for other kind of insects, even cockroaches. Um, the thing about diatomaceous earth is it does not work immediately, and I'll tell you why. Because the way it kills the insects is each particle of this powder has razor sharp edges on it. If you look up diatomaceous earth under microscope on Google, you will be able to see what this particle looks like. Basically, very sharp edges around it. And what these do, they will cut the skin of any insect that crawls over it. And after, it might take from 1 hour to 24 hours or up to 10 days to certain insects to be killed by coming in contact with this powder. And I learned that it takes up to a month to kill a cockroach, and up to 1 hour to kill small insects such as bed bugs and mites and fleas, etc. So I decided to use the diatomaceous earth, and if you choose to do this, make sure you buy the food grade diatomaceous earth. It's safe for humans. However, you should not inhale it. So when you apply this powder, you might want to wear a mask or a bandana around your nose and your mouth, because it can get inside your lungs and it will cut the tissue of your lungs, and it will not harm you. It's not life threatening, but it's not a good thing to have inside you. Although I've also heard that a lot of people consume this powder. They basically drink it with water to a certain amount, and it has some health benefits. So, anyways, so I bought diatomaceous earth powder, and I put it around my apartment, basically under the baseboards, along the walls, inside my closet, around the bathroom, in the kitchen. You don't want to put too much of it. Basically, enough to you shouldn't have powder laying on the floor. It's basically just sprinkles of it, and it'll be barely visible. That's all you need. You don't want too much of it, because if an insect sees a lot of powder on its way, they will avoid it. They will take a different path. They will avoid it. Basically, you want to have very very thin layer, where around, especially around your bed too, where these insects will basically crawl over it in order for them to reach you, either when you're asleep or during the day when you're active. So this is what I did, and amazingly, I started seeing results within few hours. Um, I was skeptical about it because, I mean, how can such a thing, I mean, work for these creatures that are immune to all kind of insecticides and all kind of chemicals, and they can be killed by this just powder by just crawling over it. And amazingly, it worked. And it didn't happen all of a sudden, but I started seeing less and less biting on my skin and less crawling. Um, and it's I still get bitten once or twice at night, um, but um, I used to get bitten like hundreds of times at night, and as I said, to the point where I can't fall asleep. So basically now I get woken up once or twice at night by one or two bites, and I do not get bitten during the day anymore. I don't feel anything under my clothes. I'm basically feeling that I'm going back to normal. Um, Knock on wood. So if you're suffering from this kind of infestation, um, you should try this powder called diatomaceous earth. But at the same time, you need to make sure you wash your beddings at least every other day, your sheets, your pillows, even your clothes, and hopefully you will see results within a day or two. Now, this is also important because you should not eliminate the possibility of having the psychosis unless you see physical evidence of insects, because delusory parasitosis, it's a true psychosis, and there are a lot of people who suffer from it. And most of the people who suffer from this psychosis, it's because um, they have gone through some sort of infestation, such as bed bugs or fleas or ticks. So there is always possibility of having the psychosis of delusory parasitosis. But at the same time, you should be looking for physical evidence of having some kind of insect infestation around your home, even if the source is not there, just like in my case. So and the other thing is, uh, whatever you do, don't take everything you read on the internet or you hear from other people too seriously, because as I said, I read some scary things on the internet, and I can't describe the feeling I felt after I read those things. I mean, I'm sure these people are not all lying or making stuff up, except that website I told you about. Stay away from it. Birdmite.org. Do not go on birdmite.org. They should be sued, and they should be taken off the internet. Anyways, so do not panic. Do not panic. As I said, these creatures cannot survive on human blood. They will infest your home to try to survive on you. And the reason they stay for months is because the reproduction rate is so fast that each mite will only bite you once and move on, and probably dies. But because they reproduce so fast, the new generations, they keep trying to feed on you, and then they die, and the other generation try to feed on you. So they basically will try to survive for a number of generations, but eventually they will be eradicated or move on, because they, the reproduction rate will slow down as they become unable to survive on your blood. So yeah, do your research again, and do not listen do not believe everything you read, because people always tend to focus on the negative things, but especially in this kind of situations, but they ignore the positive side. So if you believe you have bird mites in your home, start by looking for a source. Again, it's either bird nest or house mouse or rats in your attic around your home. If you have any trees close with the branches very close to your windows, try to cut those branches down. So because these mites do not jump or fly, they can only crawl. So if there is no trees in contact with your home, they cannot get inside. So I hope this video was hopeful. It was helpful, and I wish you luck if you're suffering with this kind of infestation. And if you have any questions, I'm not an expert, but again, I went through this experience, and hopefully I will never go through it again. If you have any questions, please comment on this video, and I will either comment back on it or to answer your questions, or I will post other videos to answer your questions. Don't panic. There's always hope. Tomorrow is a brighter day. So I wish you luck, and stay strong, my friends.